Albert Barton, who is a creative strategy consultant. So, Albert, why don't you tell us where did you study and what courses did you take?
Well, actually, I didn't do any advertising courses.
No, where
Um,
did you study and what courses did you take?
oh, wow, where do I study?
Yeah, sorry.
I was born and brought up in Chembur, Bombay.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied in Our Lady of Perpetual Succor High School and did my college in Vivekanand Society. That's also in Chembur.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I did a couple of courses in computers. And I was a computer analyst in the beginning. And then I started working in Mudra and I changed over to creative in Mudra.
Okay. So, why don't you give us a little brief for about your career?
See what?
Why don't you give us a little brief of your career?
Okay, so I was working on the systems in Mudra, and then I got to know that I could give my copy test and become a writer. So I did that, and after a while, started working in the creative department as well. And it was brilliant compared to my previous life. I found working in creative gave me a kind of freedom and a thought space and an environment
Mm.
of people which I hadn't come across before. It was really like finding my tribe. It was
Yeah.
I had the good luck to be trained, you could say, by several very senior creative directors. Ramakrishna Rao, who is now working with Cartwheel, Gangadhar Menon, who's now teaching art, and several really essential senior creative directors. And they've taught me the skills, they taught me the craft. Most importantly, they taught me how to figure out routes, how to deconstruct a brief and then construct your
Mhm.
brief from that.
Okay. So, what exactly is a creative director?
Well, that's quite a long question,
In
put in a very
in
small
yeah.
fashion, of course. But yeah, the answer is long. Well, a creative director could be from either side of the crafts repertoire. Could be a writer, it could be a art-based person.
Okay.
So these two animals, the writer and the art base, the designer or the art director, are two completely different beings. You know, they come from different aspects of life. What brings them together is the ideas. You see, both of them have the ability to come out with really surprising ideas. Now, as a creative director, I would be in charge of a department full of these animals. And it is up to me to get them to work together and come up with work which hits the brief on the head, which is very exciting in terms of concept, which is very exciting in terms of uh, execution, and which, uh, ideally speaking, the client will lunge for the minute he hears it. You see, the minute he sees the first few slides about the baseline we've come up with or the idea we come up with, you can also already see him getting excited. And when he sees the execution, he should jump for it and says, "Okay, this is what I want. Now I'll go ahead and complete it." You know,
Okay.
things like that.
Okay. So, in your line of work, how do you use technology, and how will technology impact your line of work?
Well, technology, of course, has impacted everyone's line of work, especially media, because the delivery now has become so seamless and absolutely online, live, on the time. So you can deliver whatever you want to whoever you want and make sure that it's gone to the correct places because of the monitoring, etc. So technology has made my work so much more easier.
Mhm.
Back in the beginning, we had artworks, which were actual pieces of paper. with a photographic type on them. And changing a mistake on that would take you half a day or more. But now, of course, it's all done so
Digital.
quickly. Yeah, digital. So with digital now, you have a faster delivery. You have something cleaner. However, a lot would argue that with great speed does not come great achievement.
That's right.
There's a lot of time to be spent in the thinking of the idea, in the
Yeah.
cracking of the root, in the cracking open of that concept into a rich, flowing, vibrant campaign, which then can be applied to any medium whatsoever. You can apply it to news, you can apply it to television, you can pop it into any sphere of the online universe you wish to, and you can take it forward. So you need that thinking time. You need to get people to think, to condition themselves to think past their initial ideas. Everybody is very tempted to, oh yeah, I got the idea. Let me do, 4 images, and it can go into Insta here, it can go to Facebook this way, and etc. etc. I'm going home. So, but well, that helps you go home early. It doesn't help you become one of the world's best creative people, and that's what we are all shooting for.
Yeah.
So, what you need to
So
do is you get a brief, you go through the brief, and you have to think it through. And you got to get all the ideas out of your head, and then get ideas which nobody has thought of before. That's what you're gunning for. To
yeah.
shock people because they're seeing something put forward in a way they haven't seen before. And the minute the concept is so original and so fresh, everyone gets excited. So you have an illustrator, you have a photographer, you have a director, you have a music director. Now they are all extremely excited to contribute to your project because they like
Yeah.
the idea. Everything comes out much more richly, smoothly. Everyone's happy, and you'll probably go home with an award or two.
Okay. So what are the skills you would say uh, are what skills should someone have to succeed in being a creative director?
Well, I think the skills which make you a good human are the skills which will take you very far in most parts of life. However, as a creative person, look, it's easy to say, oh yeah, you need to read a lot, you need to keep in touch with the industry, you need to have a network of professionals, illustrators, film directors, you need to hang out with them in the hot and happening places, etc., etc. You need to be seen at the proper shows. Well, that's like hygiene factors. That's what you need to do. The thing is, to really crack this creative secret thing open, you need to be able to observe people. You need to be able to see what is making them tick, and you need to be able to put it down on paper. You need to capture insights of the common people. You need to meet a lot of common people and listen to them. You need to read a lot of literature and art and movies which are past the popular and into the raw. You need to really work hard at it. It does not come to one naturally. You cannot be a part of the spectator bunch anymore. You have to observe the spectators. When a girl walks into the room, you have to observe the reactions of the men. You got to tear your face away from her and look at the men, look at the other women, see how they react. Will it look good in my next film? This reaction. That's what you're gauging all the time. You need to be sober at parties. You need to see what turns people on and what turns them off. Because sometimes the way to attract people is by showing them something which they are not in love with. That's very important. And you got to keep doing this. It becomes a part of you. Of course, you got to do all the other hygiene factors. Keep yourself healthy, work out a lot in creative skills and the crafts, and be the best you can. Now, that's all on the professional front. On the other side, you have to develop hobbies, and you have to be bloody good at it. If you're a cook, you have to be a very good cook. You got to know everything about your recipes. If you're into motorcycles, you have to be able to work on your motorcycle. It's like that. You got to get obsessive about the things which are you are passionate about. You got to put other things aside. You got to make everything take second place. You got to be ruthless. You got to be really, really ruthless. If
Hmm.
you ask any creative director, what's that common flow through every successful, really, really happening creative director? They'll all say these guys are passionate and ruthless, not just passionate. It's a huge difference.
Okay. So thank you, Albert. Thank you for your time.